This ain't no game, this that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. All the shows spread fake news. We just call it podcast. West, Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dalton. And you know that boy hit you. He said he wants small fries. Tell him they better make him bang. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You bet. Jordan, here he goes. This place is gone.
If we said it instead of the song, sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal Sports Zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Rally House Studios. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman. Before we introduce the rest of the co-hosts, do want to let a lot of y'all have been DMing me, asking me where the women's game is. It is on the Peacock, but the listing for it didn't show up until exactly 1 o'clock. So me and Shawn have been trying to, well, Shawn's always looking for it, but we were trying to find the game on the app. It did not show up until exactly 1 o'clock when we were doing our first intro that didn't go live. So, all right, let's get to it. Again, I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman, my co-host for this afternoon. First and foremost, the only in-studio co-host for today. He is the man, the myth, the Baron legend. It is Shawn Barber.
How's it going?
Next to him, he is our women's basketball and football beat writer. His team, like mine, NFL team, lost this week. However, secretly, I sacrificed our game this week so we could win the other game. So I'm not sorry about that, but it's our guy, Sam Bazin.
What up? What up?
Next, he is the big little brother, and he's the one that's got the most fire backgrounds in the industry, Joe Wallman.
Acknowledge me.
No, don't. None of mother.
Wes. I got it. Hold on. I got to step out a second.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right. Arms are tired.
Shawn's arm's too tired, so we know what he was doing last night. All right. Joey stepped out in the middle. He pulled a Wes. He stepped out in the middle of the show.
Well, when you hear a lad bang in the house and your mom's in a wheelchair, you step out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know your mom was in
Wes,
a
did you acknowledge me?
Yeah, he did.
There we go.
Joey, we're just glad you're alive today because there was a situation Friday night.
Almost died.
Where our feed buffered, I think.
Yeah.
And your heart buffered, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And last but not least, it is our Sunday our Sunday co-host. It's the guy who says he has one friend that says he looks nothing like Shabuzi, and I told him that friend just has a viewing. Look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get Wes a wig and have him put it on, and we're gonna do a live comparison. Because there's just, I don't know that it's exactly that he facially looks like him, but there's like, if you watch the video of the bar song, there's some facial what's the word I'm looking at? Mannerisms and expressions that I'm like, holy crap, that looks exactly like when Wes gets excited or is parenting his kid in the middle of the podcast. So it's we're just having a good time. It's Wes Keys, everybody.
What's going on? And second of all, to the wig, absolutely not.
My baby world. Sorry, I got to stop because I don't want us to get copyrighted. All right, let's get to the chat line where Dwayne says, what's good, Card family? What is good, Dwayne? We got a lot to talk about today. I wrote down a bunch of stats. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however. Send us your questions on social media. Check on the graphic below Joey and Wes to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how to help support the team, the Cardinal Sports Zone team, monetarily Also, we have rolled out a new feature in the last couple months called YouTube subscriptions. It gives you a lot of extra access to the team. And when you got questions, Shawn, some people want to know what's going on at 11:30 at night. We'll answer your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's special access, and it's a good time. And it helps support the podcast. Hit that thumbs up button while you are here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more analytically. Some sponsor shout outs. Fitness Market, 4 Picks, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, and Rally House. Let's go ahead, guys, and we're going to kick off the segments today. If I can find, we're going to kick off the show with a little bit of recap and my thoughts. We call it 55 thoughts, and then we'll go over some stats that caught my eye from yesterday. Let's go ahead and kick off the show. All right, as you all know, the Cards came out and played the way that, other than the Stanford game, they had played all season. They dominated offensively. They dominated defensively. Everything that we expected to see versus Stanford, we saw yesterday. It was a great thing to see after all the aggravation of losing to Stanford. Cards kicked the ball off first yesterday. The drive ends with a Stanquan Clark interception after Pitt drove down the field pretty easily. Stanquan picked it off, I think, at the 2. Or no, it was a touchback, wasn't it? Or was it the second one that was a touchback? Regardless, first interception out of the way. Shuck drives us all the way down the field, but that drive ends, unfortunately, with the Travelstead field goal, 3-0 Cards. Pitt gets the ball and starts to get in rhythm, but an Ashton Gelati sack puts out Holstein. Hopes for a speedy recovery there. And thanks to a penalty, Pittsburgh stalls again. Cards roll down the field behind a big run by Brown, and after 3 more plays, Brown gets into the end zone. It's 10-0 Cardinals. Louisville holds on to an apparent 3-and-out, but Tell gets flagged for a roughing the passer. They get to 3rd down, and Stanquan destroys the defender. Pitt will be 4th and 2 to start the second quarter. The Cards stuff Pitt to start the second quarter. First down Louisville at midfield. A 5-play drive goes like this. Duke for 26 yards. A Shuck end zone shot and miss. Hicks 10-yard run for first down. 10-yard catch for first down. A Shuck throw out of bounds. And a 15-yard touchdown throw to Brooks. It's 17-0 Cards pretty easily. Shawn, for as even of a game as we expected this to be, it surely was not that close early or at all. Again, remember, I'm writing these down as the game's happening. Helpful when you're doing a write-up and stuff. Pitt gets the ball. Gelati gets another tackle for loss, but Pittsburgh converts. Rocket Watts with another 6-yard tackle for loss. A Quincy Riley pass deflection leads to 3rd and 16. Another 14-yard completion leads to another 4th and 2. Another stop by Quincy Riley and the Cards on 4th down. Quincy looks a little shook up, but shook up. He's fine, though. We get back to the game. And by the way, I make this observation. Tyler Shuck may be the worst throwaway ball quarterback in the history of football. He's got multiple intentional groundings. He's had a couple picks trying to throw it out of bounds. I think I'd trade that for everything else he does good, though. So it is what it is. Grounding followed by a missed flat route leads the Cards to the first punt of the game. Nice stop by Pittsburgh. Pitt starts off at the 33 after a face mask by Thornton on the return for just the second penalty on the day by the Cards. A stop by the D-line followed up by MJ Griffin pass breakup takes Pittsburgh to 3rd and 9 for another tackle for loss by McDonald. A punt, and it's our ball. Welcome back, Maurice Turner. First run of the first play of the series. He gets stuffed going up to the top with the play that Joey hates all the time. I do as well. This is pretty quick, though. Brooks with a catch for 31, followed up by Bell with a catch for 33. Cheney and Martin stuffed, 3rd down, going for it. Shuck threw it away correctly, but we were stopped at the 1. And I was kind of okay with going for it there because we had a lot of momentum on that drive. This drive was real simple. First play, they dropped a pass. Second play, another interception by Stanquan Clark. Very first play, Isaac Brown touchdown. It's 24-0 Cards. And I do give up on keeping track here in a second, so just bear with me. Tell for a tackle for loss. Kuntil got the second tackle for loss. 4th and 1, they punt. Brooks with a 22-yard return, the longest punt return allowed by Pittsburgh this season. It's 2-minute offense time. Duke for a 10-yard run. Shuck for 10. Hicks for 5. Shuck for 5. Brock's good from 36 yards. It's 27-0 at the half. It really was a complete first half. It sure, as we were last week, that we were going to destroy Stanford and play Pitt close. The opposite actually happened. Sam, before we get into the second half, what was it that you noticed in the first half that we were doing differently? Because we still don't know if y'all know this or not. We still committed more penalties than Pittsburgh did yesterday. We hit our average. So that wasn't it, even though it seems like those may have just been inopportune penalties yesterday. Whatever, we had the roughing the passer, that's 15 yards. So we had 75 overall. And we had a face mask, that's 15. So 30 of the 75 were pretty significant, but the others were not. What was it you saw in the first half that was different than the Stanford game?
For one, the offensive execution. I don't want to say they seemed awake because it definitely felt like they kind of sleptwalked the first quarter or so in Stanford. But I like the multiple formation Coach Braum put out there, so it gives their next opponent, the Blue folks, something else to look at. He also get different people involved. Like there was a lot of Chatarius Hicks. He was involved a lot in the offense. So, and it was just the blocking up front when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, we didn't do too much different because we still had a lot of missed tackles. I will say the defensive play calls got in just a bit quicker, and they executed a little bit better. But I also think that too is because once Pitt's offense wasn't that great to me anyway. They did run the ball a lot in the beginning successfully. I mean, it was just big holes everywhere. And outside of that, once the second or third possession came, they were able to close up some of those run fits, and it made Pitt kind of one-dimensional in a way. So that other than that, they did clean up the missed tackles after the first 2 possessions. So that was a plus because we still had a lot of missed tackles in Stanford. But like I said, on offensive side of the ball, it was more versatility. The plays got in a little bit quicker. They were more in a rhythm. And then defensively, they made the adjustments quicker. Instead of, usually they make it in the second and third quarter. They made the adjustments quicker this time around, and they clean up some of those missed tackles that they had in the first and second possession of the game.
We talked about it Friday night about things that they did well, and it was very auspicious, even that their safety and their DB were their leading tacklers. But we saw why against us, because it was so easy to throw the ball against them.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was hoping to do, was to install and just run all over them. But Jeff Brom's the expert, and he showed why he knew what he was doing. Their leading tacklers this game were still the 2 leading tacklers on the season. So he was able to take advantage of that and do that well. We'll go over the stats in a second, but let's get to the rest of the game. Second play of the second half, 7-yard Isaac Brown run. Third play, a 2-yard completion. Bobble turns into a 68-yard touchdown to Bell. 34-0 Cards. At this point, I was ready to put my phone down and just enjoy the game. It is what it is. The next drive, I'll just summarize. They get the ball. They get stuffed twice, leading to 3rd and 7. They convert. Nicholson tackle for loss. They convert again. Another tackle for loss. They punt again. Cards ball. Isaac Brown first down run after the offsides. Isaac for 8. Brook drops the first down catch. Cards bunt. Boo. Cards punt too. They don't just bunt, they punt. That was a very easy catch, but like he's known for having one decent drop a game. Luckily, it's not cost us just yet. Pitt with a decent drive. I'm disinterested at this point, so I won't go into much more detail for Pittsburgh. Touchdown them finally. That was the whole thing I did. Hicks with another Katarius Hicks. I'm not really sure where Sam's getting the H, but Katarius Hicks gets another big catch. This was his coming out game. Kewan Brown runs. Unnecessary roughness. Brock Travelstead with another field goal. 37-7. I think 37-7 at this point heading into the fourth quarter. I think I saw Rocco. Let me look that up real quick while I'm saying. But Rocco said something along the lines of Brock moving into sixth most all-time field goal hits. So he's moving up on the list. I don't know what that list is. We'll get that for you. If Shawn, send me a text that says Brock top field goal kickers of all time. You can send it to me right now, and I'll just remember to do that after the show. Fourth quarter start. Pittsburgh punts the ball to the 1, which results in a safety, which for some reason being up 37-7, everybody in the group chat was melting down because we allowed a safety from the half-yard line. That's going to happen more times than not. 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss by Ashton. Our guy Thornton, Wes's guy Thornton with another interception, which now Thornton with 2 on the year and Stan Kwan with 2 on the year are the leaders in picks. We have a Mo Turner revenge drive, but we do not try to score, which I would have preferred us try to score again, but I'm kind of a douche as far as that's concerned. Complete game on both sides, did everything right, ran strong, and played lights out D, just like Monty said on Friday we needed to do. Let's go into a little bit as we head into segment 2, a little bit of the discussion. Cards went into the game. The spread was 8, won by 28. Louisville offense was allowing 36 points was scoring 36 points per game. Scored 37 yesterday. We were allowing 25 and allowed only 9. We were averaging 447 yards of total offense. We got 505. We were averaging 163 yards rushing the game. We got 212, well over. We were also averaging 284 passing yards a game, got 293 easily. We were averaging 21 first downs a game and got I thought I wrote that down.
26.
Huh?
26.
26. Okay. You got 26. Defense, we had 3 interceptions on the season. We doubled that, as was one of my locks for Friday night. On the season, we were coming into the game, we were 28 for 42 in red zone touchdowns. We ended the game yesterday 31 for 48, so we increased it a little bit there. Overall, 30 scored on 35 of 42 drives coming in. Yesterday, we scored on 39 of 48 red zone drives. Total of 11 turnovers forced versus 10 committed going in. After the game, we took our plus minus from plus to minus at -1. We got our time of possession down from 2 minutes in the negative per game to 1. We were averaging 51 yards per game in penalties. We had 7 penalties yesterday for 65 yards. So that was the only place where we kind of increased. Pitt's offense was averaging 35 a game. They only got 9 yesterday. They were averaging 428 yards of total offense. They got 265 yesterday. They were averaging 144 rushing. We allowed 75. They were averaging 284 passing. They only got 260. They only got 265.
190.
No, 190. Sorry, they're 190, not 265. They were averaging 23 first downs per game. They got 18 yesterday, so we held them exponentially as well. And Holstein, he was averaging 57% completion against conference opponents. That got knocked down to 47%. Some other key factors that were knocked down. Reed was averaging 73 yards rushing. He got 59. He was averaging 53 yards receiving. He got 28. Mumfield was not even one of their top receivers. He was averaging 61 yards per game. He got 51 yesterday. And here's where the biggest place where I thought we needed to have the bigger difference to win the game, and it absolutely was not the case. Donovan McMillan was the leading tackler with 84 on the season. He got 13 more yesterday. Kyle Lewis was the second leading tackler with 83. He got 10 yesterday. They only got 2 sacks on us. They got 0 turnovers against us. We took their plus minus from -4 to -1, and they got 66 yards in penalties. So really quickly, let's move into predictions and locks. My locks were 2 interceptions, double the interceptions on the year. Got that. I had Bell and Brooks getting 100-yard games. I got one of those. I would never have thought Brooks would have been the one to let me down on that. Shawn, do you remember what your locks were for the game?
Yeah, I had TJ Quinn with 2 interceptions. I had the wrong linebacker.
You had the wrong linebacker.
And I had Mark Redmond with 2 touchdowns, which obviously did not happen.
I'm not even sure. He got 2 catches. Joey, what were yours?
My lock was 3 sacks by Gelati. He had 2 and also had 3 tackles for loss. So, like, I kind of count that because the 3 tackles for loss equals a sack in my book.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so he had his best game of the year, I would say, yesterday against Pittsburgh. And I can't remember what my other lock was. It was something offensively, but I don't remember. At this point, it doesn't matter. They probably didn't get it.
For sure. Sam, what about you? Or did you weren't here? You weren't here Friday night, were you?
No.
My bad. Okay, so that's all of our predictions and locks that we went through. Going through so you got the BCS, you got the CFP. I'm going to take you through the JW55 ranking system. If you take the teams that were right ahead of, let's say we didn't lose to Stanford last week and we moved up to 3 spots we should have because of the teams that lost in front of us. We would be number 15th in this Tuesday's rankings if the other teams ahead of us that lost yesterday, which got a lot of help yesterday. If you remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I said that I think best case scenario was 12th or 13th. I think this is going to prove to be almost spot on. Now, maybe I only assume that more of the better teams that are ahead of us are going to lose this week because you're going. Most of the teams are going to be locked in for a playoff spot. Some of them aren't going to be in the conference championship, so their seasons are over or will be over next week. I think there are some teams whose seasons are already over because this next week's rivalry week, so there are probably going to be quite a bit of games. It's the next week, this conference championship week, which we won't be a part of. But look, this brings us to all of our favorite points. It starts off hate week. Cardinals will play the Douche Canoes Saturday at noon on the SEC Network. We're going to talk more about that Friday night at 10:05 here on the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, which our schedule will be changing going forward because with this being the last weekend game until the bowl game, we won't need to do 2 shows a week. So we're going to talk amongst ourselves after this show and figure out which day, which we'll probably just stick with Sunday because it's the easiest for all of us to get together. But make sure you tune in Friday. We're going to have a good show. You never know who's going to tune in or join us. Like literally in the middle of the show last week, Monty hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm in town. I'd like to hop on the show. I can't get over there to the studio, but I can join." Thank God he wasn't able to join us in studio because Joey was a wreck. I didn't feel the best, and I didn't want to get anybody sick. So thoughts and prayers our way there for sure. But we're going to really quickly go to the commercial break and pay the bills. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Let's roll the commercials. You got to at least pretend like you're pushing a button, even though I'm the one doing it. Sure. There's the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. It's time. Located behind the El Nepal at 2745 Crittenden Drive. They're set up there all football season for the home game. Shout out to Bill, Garrett, Rhino, Craig, Kevin, Doc, and the crew. Rest in peace, Corrito, for a great time. Hit up the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. Four Pegs Beer Lounge, where every week is either Wings Day or The Ribs Day. On Wings Day, $20 all-you-can-eat jumbo smoked wings and $1.25 per wing all day long. On The Ribs Day, come get the best ribs in the Ville for just $25 all you can eat or $2 a bone all day long. Fitness Market. Contact our fine friends at Fitness Market to find out how they can furnish your dream at-home gym. From treadmills to saunas to weights, they have you covered. Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness and Rick Cooper for helping us look sharp on the sidelines this summer. Great monthly deals for memberships as well. Check your local listings for a location near you. Cherry Pickin', a hoops-themed cold-pressed juice and smoothie bar inspiring you to take what's good. Conveniently located at 828 East Main Street behind the local seltzery. Tell them CSZ sent you for 15% off your total order. Shoot 360, a premier state-of-the-art basketball training facility with highly skilled trainers. Call 515-6556 and sign up today. Great value all around. And if you go to shoot360.com, you can pre-register for a free workout. Come to Shoot 360, the world's most advanced basketball training facility. Rally House. Check out our friends at the Jefferson Mall. Lisa, Dee, Rico, Amanda, and the crew. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. They'll make sure you get taken care of really well. Rally House. Our house, your house, Rally House. Local stuff. Last but not least, our fine friends at Mossy Oak and Hart Properties. If you are in the market to buy or sell farms, land, recreational, or residential areas in the state of Kentucky, let Paul or one of their team of professionals at Mossy Oak and Hart Realty help you out with all your buying and selling needs. Call Paul at 270-537-4422 or email him at pthomas@mossyoakproperties.com. Mossy Oak, we know land. Now back to you guys in the studio. Welcome back to the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wyman, here with Sam, Joey, Shawn, and Wes. Really quick, we want to make sure that you all remember, as we have already said this once in the show. By the way, good comeback by the Louisville women's basketball team. They were down a little bit early. Don't forget, we have the YouTube subscriptions, which allows you to get exclusive access to us and information that we don't just give out to everybody in our group chats or stuff like that. We don't have a message board. This is as close as you're going to get to a message board with us. So take advantage of it. It's a great time. Before we get to segment 3 and we go into the biggest, the rear end of the show, let's go ahead and got to go to the segment that is sweeping the nation with our guy Shawn Barber.
No.
All right, a little bit. By the way, tag on it. Cards moved back up in the rankings, but they are at 28th in the top 25 poll. So it does look like the Pittsburgh win changed a lot of minds as far as the fluke Stanford loss. Also, the new bowl projections came out. Both of the ESPN experts have us in the Gator Bowl.
I take that.
In Jacksonville, one has us against LSU. The other one has us against Missouri.
I'd take those.
Missouri. Thank you, Joey, for getting me that link for the top kickers and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's in 6th place all time in field goals made and in points scored by a field goal kicker.
So the people in front of, let's see, I don't see him. Where's he at?
All Cardinal greats.
James Turner. Really? James Turner wasn't even here that long. He's in Colorado now, right?
No, he was in Michigan.
Who's the guy that Vassett?
Yeah, that's a punter.
Okay.
Yeah, the punter.
Yeah. Those white kickers all look alike to me. Nate Smith in front of him, Blanton Creaky, John Wallace, rest in peace, and Art Carmody all ahead of him. So it looks like, as far as field goals made, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pass up anybody else He's quite a bit behind James Turner, and I don't want him to get close to it as long as we're winning games. That'll be fine for me. Let's get to the chat line. James Gartland says Card Nation. Dwayne says great win, finish strong. Our guy Bill Jones. What's up, fellas? Fabian Bradley, great weekend for the Cards. I agree. And last but not least, KDW, all that matters is Saturday's game is a must win, period. We'll talk about that in what's the word I'm looking for?
In depth.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? I'll just use a smaller word. We'll get in depth. I'm just kidding. Yeet. Nice background there, by the way, Joey. We'll talk about that in greater detail on Friday's show. Men's basketball, segment 3. The Cards got a 76-61 victory over Winthrop. Friday night, Rain Smith scored 20. Scott had 12.6 boards. Hadley added 12 points and 13 boards. Chucky went for 10. The Cards play IU Wednesday at noon on ESPN. Sam, give us a little recap on what the women have done this week, and then you can end it with what they're currently doing now. What's he doing?
Can you not hear?
Are we playing charades?
Sam, you dog.
Say something. Is this real life?
Has he just been sitting here looking like, huh, I guess they're not talking for like 20 minutes?
I don't know. Oh, actually, I can mirror the cameras. Okay. Sam. You know what? I don't have to put up with this. Sam, can you hear us? Like, what in the...
What is going on?
I don't know. I'm about to kick him out. You can rejoin, and then we'll talk a little bit about women's basketball. Let's see if he hops back in. Cards are currently up 25-24 on South Florida. Cards ranked 22nd, sporting a third and 2 record. Hop back in. I guess I truly don't pay it because I literally had been talking to him for 5 minutes and just nothing. Then he started tapping his ear. I thought he had an itch. Like, all right, let's get him back in here. Sam, are you here?
Okay, I can hear you now. Like the last thing I heard was you was trying to do something in depth, and then
He went deaf.
everyone just
I think
went.
you had a stroke because nobody touched anything on this side. Maybe you accidentally muted us. I don't know. But go ahead and let the people know about what's going on in women's basketball this week.
Okay, so right now last I checked, I think they were down 1 to USF in Tampa. But the last game the Cards played was Thursday. They played Morehead State. It was a 37-36 point victory over there. We're seeing a lot of, like I said the last time, a lot of improvement so far from the young players. I think we're gonna go just as far as they take us when it comes to their maturity and their play level because they have the skills. We know what we're gonna get from Nyla Harris, Olivia Corcoran, Marissa Russell, and things like that. So it's just, and then welcome back Jada Curry. She had her first game of the new season after being out the first 3 games with the hamstring injury. So good to see her back in the lineup. Right now they are. Let me check the score.
They're up 3.
They're up 3.
27-24.
Okay, cool. So
Miss Curry was a big offensive or a big defensive rebound there. She hit the floor pretty hard too, though. I didn't like seeing that.
I need to check my volume.
Okay.
But anyway, so y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you just went low all of a sudden. So
I think it's your internet service provider because we're not doing anything. Everybody else is just fine. But anyway, go ahead. Continue.
But yeah, so like I was saying, This team is this is one of those teams, and I hate to say it this way, but you know how the former UK men's basketball, I can say it now, he's in Arkansas. How John Calipari used to always say, this team is good, but just wait until March comes around when he had a lot of freshmen. I liken that to what's going to happen with Coach Walls and this U of L women's team, because we do play so many different freshmen, and we're still trying to find out how everyone's going to gel together and what's their roles going to be. And their defense is only going to get better. And then once the rotation shortens up, which is usually happen probably around mid-December and January, might even happen sooner. So as the games go on and the weeks and months go on and the longer the season gets, this team will get better and better, and these freshmen will start to play like sophomores towards the middle to the end of the season, and that's where you want them to be. And then you still kind of take some of that responsibility off of Nyla Harris and Olivia Corcoran, who once the games get big, we already know what they're capable of doing. So this is going to be a fun team. Just stick with them. They're young. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Hopefully more ups than downs in this season. And this is going to be today's a good road test for them. I like the UK road test, so I felt like they grew from that, and because we still have a lot of games like Duke and Notre Dame is pretty good. Virginia Tech still is pretty good in the ACC. So games like this on the road and that type of environment and that type of team, an athletic South Florida team, is only going to get them better for the ACC and hopefully the NCAA tournament.
Cards on a big run right now. Just out, they stepped out of bounds and didn't call it. Coming to you from the lovely Wide World of Disney complex. It's pretty awesome. If you've ever had the opportunity to, that's where the EYBL was when I got to cover it the one year. It's awesome. Another layup. It's layup fest. Cards up 9 now, just like that in the blink of the eye. Let's head to rapid fire. Let's see what kind of laughs we can get this week. After 3 days of racing, the number 97, I guess he forgot the slash, U of L men's, it's number 9th in one poll. And the men's ranked number 9th, the women's are ranked number 7. Gosh, yeah.
97.
U of L men's and women's swimming team completed the Ohio State Invitational. The Louisville men placed 2nd. The women finished 3rd. That's a pretty big deal from what I understand about the Ohio State Invitational. Especially with but we are a top 10 team on both sides of that, so shouldn't be too big of a surprise. U of L's men's cross country freshman Jeffrey Kirwa wrapped up his first collegiate cross country season at the NCAA Cross Country Championships on Saturday morning. Kirwa placed 146 overall after covering the 10K distance at the Thomas Zimmer Championship cross country course. And I know what it's supposed to say, 30 minutes and 13 seconds. He put 30 hours and 13 minutes. I think I could finish a cross-country course. He did say he was 146, though. It is what it is. Outside hitter Charity Looper had 14 kills, an ace, and 2 blocks to lead the number 3 ranked U of L volleyball team to a 3-1 win in the ACC volleyball action Friday night in Charlottesville, which that's – none of that was the way that I read it, but that's what it was supposed to say. I'm going to start interpreting for y'all. The Cardinals improved to 24-3 on the season and 16-1 at ACC play with the 25-10, 25-14, 25-16, 23-25 win. Louisville hit 286 with 14 blocks and 5 aces. Anna DeBeer contributed 13 kills and 12 digs. Hannah Sherman had 9 blocks with Elena Scott pitching in a match high 23 digs. I also want to remind you all, if you all want an exclusive game day experience with Louisville men's basketball, you can go to spencersstand.com. And what that is a website that has, so I guess you would explain it as a different way of doing NIL, which is pretty cool. But it is a website. If you go to it, it tells Spencer's story about being a type 1 diabetic from a young age and still being an athlete and how you overcome things. They do offer NIL packages. You can choose to do a virtual hangout with Spencer and talk basketball with him, let me go to the time, because on one of the pages it had times. The virtual hangout is $10 for an hour. You can do a one-on-one workout with Spencer for $50 for 2 hours at the Cooper Center. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it big, in my opinion. For 3 hours of fun and the same low $50 price, you can attend a U of L basketball game. You get to come to the walkthrough. You get prime game seats. You get behind-the-scenes action. So it's going to be kind of like me, but without a media pass on, I think, is the way to put it and sound as cocky as possible. Shout out to Steve Rummage on that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. Last but not least, I was talking to my guy Peyton Siva before the show today. They are doing a winter basketball camp. Come unlock your game at our state-of-the-art basketball camp. Book on the Shoot 360 app on the events tab. It's limited to 50 participants. Session 1 is December the 23rd, 26th, and 27th. Session 2 is December 30th, January 3rd, and January 4th. Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to noon. For members of Shoot 360, there it is. $75. For non-members, it's $150. It's for ages 7 through 14. So take take advantage of those special what a chooch. Sorry, I was talking about Shawn's brother-in-law. Just kidding. Take advantage of the camps that Peyton and them are putting on. Ooh, what a block. They did not call the foul. Okay. Take advantage of Spencer Stand for $50 a seat. You can't get a seat for $50 on Ticketmaster for the nosebleeds, barely. But for $50, you can go hang out with the team, sounds like, for the entire duration of the game. Take advantage of that if you can. Please support our photographers. I don't know. It's every week this time. I don't know if it's Shawn's aura. I don't know. Please support our photographers, Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger, Keith Russell. Go check out the mega gallery that Keith and Jeff put out earlier this week after the Winthrop game. It was amazing, and you all have been tuning in record numbers. Let's keep that up. Keep the momentum going. For now, tune into the show every Friday night at 10:05 and Sundays at 1 p.m. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer the YouTube. You can find the audio version on Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, and iHeart. Hit subscribe, like, plus heart, or whatever it is Shawn does on Saturday nights. It will add it directly to your RedTube channel. No, it'll add it directly to your PC or phone, however you're subscribing to podcasts. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began. Find the podcast tab. Find the CSZ Podcast tab for all of our newer stuff. The archive tab under podcast will take you to our pre-93.9 stuff. Check out all of our exclusives there. We got some of the best exclusive writers in the country. I said country here at the website. Shout out to everyone who is out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to our guys, Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 DeVille. What's up, Sam?
Yeah, I got this birthday party I got to go to, so I'm all at y'all later.
Okay.
All right.
Sam's out. The rest of us are going to be here. Sam is out, though. Thanks, Sam, for joining us. I would say this too. I've never known a grown man that has as many birthday parties. I didn't go to birthday parties after I got out of middle school. This dude goes to birthday parties every single weekend. You know what? It is what it is. Not hating. I was hating a little.
Won't even bring us any cake, man.
No cake. I mean,
didn't have time.
Higgy at least brought cake. I mean, he ate it on the way here, but he brought cake.
Those donuts.
No, it's cookies.
It doesn't matter. All of them. He ate it all.
He ate 2 dozen gosh dang. It was cookies, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Any of you all really quick, do we have any pool parties next Sunday?
Doubt it.
Anybody Dave and Bustering or ball pitting, Shawn?
I think somebody I know's dog's birthday's next week.
Okay, well we thank God we're going down to one show after next Sunday because it might be difficult to get everybody in here. Again, shout out to Marcus Maben, Steve Rummage doing the Lord's work 10 to noon Monday through Friday on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. You all know we give our friends a hard time. That's how we grew up. That's how it's going to stay. So if you're sensitive, you might want to listen to a different show. Shout out to the 502 Circle and Floyd Street Media, Dan, Mark, and the crew, putting out great exclusives during the football season. Go Line with Bilal Powell, Inside the Huddle with Harry Douglas. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Keeping It 100 with Noah and Kaysen, Beyond the Court with Elena Scott. Great stuff. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it now. They do such great work with the athletes of the university, and it's another way to get them in there to be able to do the NIL stuff. Make sure you tune in every Friday for Around the ACC with DP. It airs exclusively on the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast Network here on the Twitter, the YouTube, the Facebook, the Twitch. We're even on Twitch. Did you know that, Shawn?
I did not know that.
You didn't know that we were on Twitch. We're on Twitch. Where can people find you all on social media? Sam down there is on. Sam, how can they find you? Okay. Baseboy124. Shawn.
At Elville Shawn.
Joey.
Joe Warman 526.
Wes Booski.
West Keys _CSZ.
You know, you really are the last of your kind. I'm Jeremy _CSZ. Last words. Let's go in reverse order this time. Wes, we'll let you go first this time.
Good weekend for the Cards. Thanksgiving coming up. And we don't like them. They don't like us. Let's get a win next week.
Man, them. Shawn?
It's Merkin season in Lexington.
Shawn said them cats as well. My last words, and then we'll go to Joey because Joey's got this is his segment. Shawn's got his dating segment, Sweeping the Nation. Joey's got his. I'm going to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Best of luck to Hunter and Chris Redmond this Friday night. They will a rematch of last year's Final Four. They'll battle Lexington Catholic. Last year, Cal beat them in the Final Four 43-8. Also, look for Tuesday College Football Addiction with TJ Pittinger, where for the first time this year, me and him get to talk about our victories. Florida State with their second win of the season. Louisville with their 70-11th of the season. It's been kind of lopsided, but we've gotten through it. We enjoy it. College Football Addiction on YouTube. Check it out. Funny dude, great show, and it's a national podcast, so you know that makes it the best. Still working on our serious podcast. Listen, we might have to come up with whole new names to do that show, but it's going to be blinking great. I'm telling you. It's going to be blinking great. As always, it took Shawn about 10 seconds later to get that everybody else. It's hate week, but it's hate week on the field, off the field. We hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Joey, take it away.
Well, obviously get your pet spayed or neutered, help control the population like Shawn does. Maryland's trash as always. There's a couple, I'll say other trash bins. One, I'm going to call my own team out. It's not college, but the Steelers losing to the Browns is trash. It's trashy. It is what it is. Dude. It is what it is. We should never lose to them no matter what the conditions. That's trash. I'm going to move to the Big 12 a little bit. The previously undefeated BYU, I don't know, what are they, Cougars or something?
The Cougs.
Yeah. Second loss in a row, I believe. So they've kind of, just shot themselves in the foot. Colorado, believing in their own hype, they lose again. They drop out of the top 25. So oh yeah.
They were high, so they had a bigger tumble than we did. We went from 19th out. They were at like 16th or 15th and went.
Yeah, the poll that's out right now, they fell out. And then, of course, you can't spell suck without a U and a K. It is rivalry week. They can go get in the trash bin and then set it on fire with their couches.
Okay. To be fair, Bubs, I didn't really cuss. I just bleeped out where a cuss would go.
Oh, I will be.
Joey always talks about trash, but I want to give, because this has never happened in the history of college football. Shout out to the Kansas Jayhawks becoming the first team in college football history to win 3 straight games against ranked opponents. They upset Iowa State, number 17 Iowa State, upset number 6 BYU, and upset number 16 Colorado 3 consecutive weeks. Unfortunately for them, they've got an unranked Baylor coming in this week. They're undefeated against the top 25 this year, despite only having. Actually, that's not true. They lost. They're 3-1. They lost. Oh no, they were ranked at the beginning of the season. Okay, that's what it is. Sorry. So they're still 3-0 against the. Oh no, they played 4 straight top 25 teams and lost by 2 to Kansas State. So. Still a decent run. They are 5-6 on the season. One, even teams that kind of suck deserve. And look, they got more top 25 wins this year than we do, than a lot of teams do. So shout out to them. They deserve it. Mossy Oak says, "What's up, crew? What's up?" Listen, we appreciate the Mossy Oak chat line, Mossy Oak Properties Heart Realty chat line. Them doing the sponsorship. Ready to re-up that in January because they are truly, like, you all tune in, you all message because they are the sponsor, and we really do appreciate that and appreciate everything that all of our sponsors does for us. I guess we're at the end of the show, Shawn. Hope everybody enjoys the week. I was a little distracted by my phone. I apologize for that. For Birthday Party Sam, Shawn, Joey, and Wes, we hope you all enjoy the week. Thanks again for all the support. We love you guys. And until next time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast. We need the exit song to be sung by Peter Griffin. That would make it 10 times better. All right, y'all. L's up. Go Cards. Let's beat these Blue Nuts.